not going to talk much until that thing's done heating up this further. It's currently about 38 degrees. So, yeah. Okay. So, I'm probably going to be guys closer to the 8 a little bit. Give me a second. I'm not sticking you on top of the Festiva. I must be putting you on the welder. Give me 1 second. I think I figured out what we can do. Yeah. Are we level? Yeah, good enough. That's not a bad shot. Plus, you can see the whole angle of the Festiva, like the tire fitment and stuff. Okay. Alright, we can work with this. Board up to that thing will be some other stuff in the garage. So, I don't know how long you can hear me, but I picked up pieces over time and I forgot one in the house. This is this flat plate with two of the holes are made to have a thread, like it gets strip that was welded on, and you lost some capacity because of where it falls in the frame. This is just something that is made for a big steering box, which is really popular with hot rods. So if you want to really complicate things, this basic light plate is like $12 on eBay. Buy a steering box for a Hertz. That price for I think it was $100 or so. So it's a decent one. And conveniently, this is a spare part from one of the racks that I've replaced in the Festiva before. And got a few more of these that should make all the curves and twists I need to do to connect to the steering column. I now have to get the bracket that out. I don't fit onto that in my panel part. So in theory, I have everything I need, including the drag link from the steering box to connect to the front wheels. So we might have the steering like the car can actually steer from inside the car soon. I've got a steering wheel. Still need to get a steering wheel. But that's it. Alright. Let's get to it, I guess. I'll just keep finding what I need to do and move stuff around for a little bit, alright? So probably stream until around 8 p.m. I've got some other stuff I got to do later on tonight. I might stream again in the garage, or I might be working on the inside with some RC stuff. But it's welding and just piecing this whole car together soon. I'll probably put you guys inside of the car and see if we put the steering column on because it's going to be a cool motor. So, people are ready to actually throw the ball. this will become the lower part that forces the column to be held tight to the actual lower or upper bracket that's part of the cowl gas tank. Once we mount that in, we'll have an actual angle to start figuring out where the column falls in through the firewall. I might be able to mount it tonight, or at least get a good enough reference for where I can start figuring out where the universals and the shaft come out from the steering column out to the steering box out here. It's just something I need at least a good reference for, so I don't have like technical issues. We got one other part. And first for the steering column. Oh yeah, it's a power glide. So I finally found a transmission that's not junk for me to actually get this to fire up inside of the A. This is a Turbo 350, and something to do with the actual torque converter is not seating correctly, and it's putting so much force against the flywheel, it won't let it crank over, even though I've had this engine running on the stand before. So it's going to be a lot of progress, which probably won't get to tonight, but maybe tomorrow. So I'm going to figure out where to put you guys again. I think we're safe there. So, all right. Fancy steering column. I think I paid $130 for it. It's a GM style one. All it does is tilt, and then you can select like drive or whatnot. There's nothing really fancy to it in turn sequence. So, just want to keep it simple. Got my bracket outside the car. 1 second. Actually getting a little warm in here. Alright. I might put some of the brackets on this, or sorry, the stocks on this, just so I have something better to hold on to. But we're going to basically shoot from here down, and I kind of want to see, these are another part from the parted out Festiva. They kind of fall where I want them to, but like, once again, I need to have the steering column mounted in place to get a good idea of what to build around. Funny enough, this is the exact same style of steering column that the Model A had, or sorry, the AMC Pacer had, except less garbage somehow. Doesn't really take much to be better than that car was, and that's a big part of why it got sold. Every single thing on that car kept trying to break, even if you fixed it. Like I looked at Yugos that had better quality control. There we go. So yeah, that's our hazard button. That should be our tilt, I believe, for turn signal. And then I've got one more to put together. I got the wrong screwdriver. So I want to see how it fits in. Yeah, that's our turn signal. Okay. Alright. The Melber's on now. See how the way this does. Try and angle this towards the camera. Ta-da! Alright, that's a turn signal. If you guys want to, you can like comment down below some ideas for just what brand of steering wheel I'm thinking of, or sorry, like what you guys think would look good in this thing as a tuner. I'm thinking just like any kind of like 3-spoke wheel with a wood or wood grain trim. Nothing too complicated. Or I could throw a Festiva wheel on because I think it's the same spline pattern on this. That'd be first enough. So. Column, that is tilt, turn signal, hazard. I'm out check the camera shot again. I'm pretty sure we're just gonna go like this. Except I don't know whether or not the rubber piece should get like flipped in any weird direction. It's got like a weird ripped edge here. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but like there's slightly raised edge on one side of it. I'm thinking that might be meant to go to the outside to help anchor it in place so it doesn't slide out where it's getting like wrapped into the collar here. Take me a second. Let's set this down something. It would at least give the effect. It's a little wired than it had to be, but that will do what I desire it to. Oh yeah. For idea, we'll get a better shot of like where I got this from in case you guys want one. So here's a little brand thing going on, and focusing on it, I hope. So yeah. The orientation I want this, because if I do it upright, I won't receive any like split in it, I guess. We'll go something like that. And then you can pitch. Okay. So I was curious if it was going got me this smidge too long. That's why I should have brought scissors for it. But I've got the decent cutters, so this should be doing the trim proper. A little bit more has to get trimmed off. Plus, it's going to get squished and stretched a little bit just because of the compression here. So. I'm going to try it to where it's at. If I have to, I'll take it apart and cut a little more rubber off. I'm just trying to make sure what you put together doesn't have to come back apart because of how it's putting it together. So. Granted, the cowl will have to come out at one point though. I need to finish welding the brackets that are holding this to the frame, and then finish welding some of the structure that bolted in that I have cables underneath of the firewall I need. Metal shavings around here yet. Okay. You know, there's something in there. I'm pressing that already. I don't like that. So, they always tilt up. That's the opposite direction I was wanting it to go. Come on. There we go. That will give me a better idea with the angle of it now to see where it looked the angle of the screen. Really. Okay. Okay. What I want to do first is start these. Actually make it where they can stay in for me. That makes it a little easier. You gotta try putting it loosely on and then slide it on. I might not even be able to use a rubber considering how tight it fit. There was a mud dauber that built a home in this thing. I might clean that out a bit more. There we go. Found the better pick. I can at least feel threads in there yet. Okay. It's gonna go until it bottoms or stops, and I'm gonna probably let the tape kind of get, yeah, just like that. Give me 1 second. We're gonna try knocking a bit more dirt out, or rust, or asbestos. I mean, this is from the 20s. Okay, that'll work. One more time. So I was just watching, or listening to Vice Grip Garage, drive Model A, I think it was 30 Model A home, about 700 miles. This is just a pretty cool thing to listen to while I was at work. Thing was leaking water all over the place. Okay. I'm gonna have to do the same thing, cleaning the threads up on this side. Okay. Jeez. Okay, it feels like it's going pretty well now. It's definitely using threads that probably haven't been used in what do you want to guess? 60 decades or something? Or, sorry, 6 decades. Okay. I think we're gonna try it there. It's honestly tight enough. I don't know if I can get the rubber sleeve in between the edges of where this falls to the size of the steering column itself, which, as long as I get it tight enough, shouldn't be an issue. So we're gonna try that. It's been a long time since I measured out what the diameter of this was to the ID of this. Or sorry, OD of this. So thinking, I don't really want it out that far. I really want to keep everything tucked as close as I can, just for room for just a person out here. So probably gonna throw this just behind it, I guess. So I'll have to take the bracket loose again. Wonderful. Well, it'll clamp really nice, but I have to have this completely loose because of how tolerances are on it. And this is going to be kind of a major problem if it tries to fall and get in my way while I'm setting the thing in. It's making it kind of difficult. I have to try and get myself closer to see what angle it's on.
Okay. Don't really want to wreck the threads on this side. Once I get this side started, we should be safe. Feels like it started. Yeah. Just don't want to slide down and scar it up. I mean, it hasn't yet, but you get the point. So, it's kind of low. Come up like that. Oh, this is the slow part. I gotta think about what height I physically want the steering column to come up for the steering wheel. Should have grabbed the shorter screwdriver. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, that's okay. I'm probably going to tighten that up pretty quick before anything freaky happens, but that will shift the angle of the steering column up a bit more. And if it's going to do something, oh, I see what you're about to do. I think I want to pull it back a little bit more like that, because that'll, by the time it gets tightened up, it's going to come up, and I think I'll put it back where I want. It's got me wondering if that rubber piece could still fit it, even though the edges of it are pinching the steering column, but yet the outer pieces here aren't. They don't want me to cut this into two pieces and then just lay on like a semicircle under here and then on the top side, would they? Sorry, it's a little different than how I've seen on other steering columns that I've messed around with. So it's got me questioning things. I'm gonna keep tightening it down and see what happens. But so far, I think the angle of it, like the height of where it's at, is about where I want it, because the steering wheel will be about here, and my hand controls will be a little bit of room for just turn signal and so forth there, but still tucking everything about where I want it to keep out of the way of your legs swinging in and out of this thing. Sure is a lot of gap though. Oh, we'll keep going. One thing, I will probably check the chat on my phone. Did have somebody message me. Okay, it was two different people saying or watching the stream. Thank you, that was cool. So yeah, I'm still figuring out the whole stream thing. I mean, for a while, it's just gonna be the little cheap laptop I picked up just so I could like send some emails and like update PayPal for address stuff, because you can't do that over your phone for some reason. You can only do it on a PC or a laptop. Otherwise, I was gonna still be getting stuff from my apartment. Or sent to the apartment. So I'll just snap off. It's starting to drop more, but I'm still not happy with what I believe is a gap. But there's still like a fair amount of room to be like drawn tighter yet. Maybe that's just how they kind of fit. Yeah, I shouldn't be able to do that yet, but there's still a little bit of a gap over here and a fair amount of a gap over here. Just strange. I mean, worst case, I'll just take it back apart and I'll lay the pieces of rubber in. Shouldn't be doing that. I don't really have any, I don't have much room left over here for it to tighten down. When the whole column can do that, it should be trying to twist the actual bracket for where it's mounting onto the little cowl firewall gas tank thing. I'm just trying to think of options right now. We could fill the gap with JB weld. It wouldn't move then. And I was probably an idiot with the location of this because, well, well, no, I didn't get too far off of what I wanted. Up a little bit. Yeah. It's not horrible work, but actually. Except if I do tilt it, it's probably going to go this way instead of just up and down. Give me a second. Yeah, it needs to rotate this way a bit. Great. That's part of where I wanted the angle with. I just didn't pay attention to it because I was fine with other parts, but we'll get there. Come on. No. Stop doing that. There. Okay. Can I twist it? Concerningly easy. Yes, I can twist it. Okay. Probably discard the chrome on it now. Okay. So that's about where it belongs, but I only have a little bit more of a gap I can try tightening. If it doesn't work, we'll have to take the whole thing apart for that rubber. Well, fudge. I potentially could do that, or there's one other dumb idea I have. I could take this bracket, since it is painted, up past where the bracket like bolts on, and I could shorten it just a little bit. That way there's a bit of a gap and you could actually like see how much you can compress it a bit. Yeah. Probably not a horrible option. I wouldn't have to use the rubber then. It would still be a solid mount. Yeah, it's probably the most logical thing to do. To the bench grinder. There would be a cutaway gag, but I don't, it's not that quick of a removal process of this. Well, can't do one thing while it's up here. So gas pedal. I could probably mount it around here, but the whole swing of it's outside of where my actual firewall's at. Oh, that'd be weird. The whole point, like the firewall being stepped back, is where like I saved the V that the 2029s have that nothing else does because V8. I'm just thinking of other random stuff I don't need to be worrying about right now because column. No, I didn't expect that. Okay, you go here. Hopefully my head is not blocking most of the screen. Oh, hello. You would do that. There we go. Fall. Still trying to fall, I can see that. Stay. Okay. So, current plan, we're gonna buzz a few mil off of here, and that will be the difference we need to make this where this whole surface area is going to actually tighten up against the steering column as well as the top area here. That should do the trick since I do have enough, like the tolerances are where it's really tight along the edges of this. It'll make it where it's more of a true circle, I believe. So I think that's going to be our plan. Why are you still trying to fall? Stop it. Get some help. Okay. I don't know how that's going to sound, but I'll try and get you guys staged to see the grinder, but not get like filled up with like that welding and cutting and grinding slag because laptop. So give me one sec. We got someone else messaging us. Oh my goodness. Someone got a Pinto that I looked at with a friend, like running. They hooked up the battery backwards and blew a fuse, but they still got it running, so that's cool. So, all right, we're gonna take you over here, not trip on the frame of the A. Ta-da! Are you going to fall off of the whole body back here? Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure like no catastrophe happens. Cool. Okay. If I was smarter about this, I would measure it with calipers, but just clamps stuff. we out of fuel? Oh, we are. Okay. Well, timing of tonight kind of works out, and I guess we had just enough fuel to do a little bit of stuff tonight. I'm still gonna keep the torch in here. It's gonna be a while before it gets cold. I made sure the insulation here was as good as the house was for kids. So that looks pretty good. I'm gonna take the birds off the threaded area or inner area. There you go. Study your bracket. So back over here. Hello again. Okay, are we level? Yeah, close enough. So this hopefully will draw up a little higher to the bracket, which will make the difference of this actually holding the column in like I want it to. Hopefully. So where was that screwdriver? Really should have chosen a different one because this one's kind of broken up a little bit, so it's trying to fight a bit more. But we'll make do with it. Being stubborn because of this. Goodbye. Don't worry, it didn't break. He just got out of the way. He's making the angle of this way off from how it could start. That's better. It's in. Threads in. I'm gonna let this back a little bit until I grab the screwdriver. Okay. Pass my knee up close to close, trying to get caught. Okay. Is that gonna make a difference? I don't know. Well, if I really wanted to, I guess I could just leave the upper part of it without any rubber, and the lower part of it here could just have the rubber, and that way it would still take up the gap I'm trying to chase, and then it would still look cleaner, I guess. I don't know, just thinking of different options. There's not really a bad way to go about it. But if I can get this to draw up without having to use any rubber at all, it'll be a really solid like mount for it, which is what I hope for. Okay, I think that's rotated a little bit. Give me a sec, I gotta get in the way to take a look. So it's a bit more. That's about it. The angle of it's at, steering wheel will be about here. So I think that's good so far, because I know it's going to get pitched up a little bit more. Okay. And I think we're actually going to bottom out with tightening this down where I wanted it now. That's already better than it was last time. Rad. I'm not a complete dork. It worked. It drew it up tight. All right. I'm still gonna get tighter. There's a little bit of a gap, but that's what I was shooting for. It's actually, yeah, it's still a little loose, but it's better than it was. That will work where it's at now. Awesome. Go. Yeah, I can still wobble it a little bit, but it's actually doing what I want it to now. Awesome. That's awesome. Okay. On to so that's there. If I can do that, freaks out and does that, or like that, because that's for everyone's beer gut these days to flip out of the way. That's shooting really close within an inch or so of where the actual block of the engine's at. I mean, we're running what look like solid mounts and for the transmission mount, so it shouldn't ever interfere with it, but it's really close. Is there any way this can be pushed? Yeah, surprisingly, those are showing me that there's a gap in everything still, because I'm just compressing the like lock washers. Okay. So that's not really a bad thing. I just need a better screwdriver. I'll be right back. Why are all mine busted? I'm just thinking out loud. This sucks. It looks like I was going to use a ratchet with the right size socket to actually work like a better straight blade screwdriver, but that's not going to happen. And this is about the only other one I have that doesn't have a broken tip. And that's what happens when you don't have a screwdriver that's decent, because this is just twisting, because it's not big enough going for it. But still better. Good enough for mock-up. That's part of the thing tonight. So I can do that. Take this and get out of the way now. at least with where this falls for height, I can use the U-joints I've got and start sneaking my way over to where I want to figure out where the steering box and the plate for the steering box will get welded onto the frame. Yeah. Well, that's the frame. Okay, there's that. Where's the U-joint? Is still on the steering box. And I had another U-joint assembly that I was going to like cobble together with what's here with one existing here. It might be in the basement. Sorry about that. That's probably pretty loud on your end. So, here's the idea. That is, well, that's not gonna like sync up with this one. Okay, so I'll just have to either modify the one I do have somewhere else to just weld it onto. This one's just got like two flat sides of a round stock bar. So I'll work around that. For now, though, I at least have confirmed that this U-joint fits perfectly onto this one, and I'll get a pinch bolt to actually tighten it down to lock into place. So we'll work around with what we've got right now. So this. Get dropped through here. Oh yeah. So I've been tossing around a few ideas for exhaust. I was thinking about just using these ram horns or getting some tubular ones and then running them down underneath the car or trying to tuck them up in line with the frame or even just getting zoomies. But I really like the idea of making this a Tudor with a full hood setup with the Chevy V8 because you don't ever see anyone being able to pull that off. I'm probably going to, give me a second, get some of these bars out of the way so you can see more of what's going on. Or at least this one in particular. And we'll get the block of wood or steel, get you guys out around to see a bit more what's going on. There you go. Is that a little better for you guys? Yeah, somewhat. Cool, right? Okay. So, it's probably not a bad idea if I throw a few bolts in this to the steering box, and then I can do what I've done before and take a pair of C-clamps and then clamp it to the frame to start locking everything up. And I do have the drag link that is like original to the car way back here that you guys can't really see. I can use to figure out where I want the steering box in relation to the frame. What kind of thread pitch is this? I'm used to metric, not standard. Sorry for the dead air, I guess. I don't think you guys would want to hear random bolts getting tossed around. We've got 2 bolts so far. That will work. Find a third. Okay. Just trying to find some washer and hardware stuff for this, and then we'll be ready to start mocking it up and then weld it pretty soon, okay? Okay, it's being stubborn about finding hardware, so we're just gonna run everything tight and then just find hardware later on, I guess. The big thing is I found bolts that will actually thread into this. So that will go like this. These bolts will thread in, and I'm pretty sure with where the height of this was falling, these 2 bolts were going to fall under the frame, and this one was going to fall in line with the frame. I could be wrong, but I'm trying to think of whether or not I'm going to probably throw 2 of these in loose right now and then just hold up to the frame and get an idea of what the height is. Ideally, I just want this to fall in line, I just want this pitman arm to fall in line or just above where the drag link is on the actual spindle of the cart. That way, where it bolts on is completely in line with the rest of the suspension and the actual front I-beam. Because less bump steer and better road driving characteristics. So that's loose. We'll ignore you. And okay, I need I'm trying to think. I might need a block of wood to hold the drag link up at one point, but let me see how I've got it over here. It's just loosely in, but it's pretty close to where it belongs. It's also bent. I can't really use it yet until I straighten it out the bends in it, but it's at least going to be a good reference because of how I say it's bent like a Z. I don't know if that was factored like that or not, but I just want to make it where it's a straight bar, but it's at least level with where it's at, so I can still use that as a reference for where the pitman arm needs to be. So here's my sequence. I just brought 2. Okay. Oh yeah, random chunks of what I would say is a crackhead's idea of fixing a frame on a Ranger. We'll cover this at some point later on, but it was not a fun truck to fix. But it was a truck with 80-some thousand miles on it, so it was kind of worth it. Except I paid more for it because complications. There was a reason why I paid what I did, and then found out, oh, cool, I got screwed. Person was supposed to buy a different vehicle, so I paid more than I would have paid for a normal Ranger because I was going to make it my new little daily. And they flipped. I'm buying the other car. So this is going to get shoehorned under the frame. And shoehorn my arm on top of the frame. I am now one with the frame. Okay. Which one of these am I going to use? I'm thinking we're going to use this one. So, where can we put you guys to possibly see this better? Not really anywhere because it's just kind of cramped in an A. Sorry. I don't really see it any other way you guys can take a look at what I'm doing without falling off a tire or hood or in my way, I guess. So, let's go. Oh, there's an issue. I've got to notch what is the front plate for the engine mount because it's just like a triangulated like piece, and it comes all the way down to the bottom edge of where the bracket's at, and that's pretty much it. Bottom edge of the frame over here. It's just getting really in the way of this bracket. So I'm gonna switch to what I can do to work around everything. But still mock up the drag link where I want it, and that will give me a reference of where I need the rest of the car. Can I twist this at all? No, it's not a big deal. Because the Pitman arm can go on. I think it only goes on one way though. So, which way is this swept? It looks like the big end of the Pitman arm is right here, which means that the drag or the Pitman arm will have to fall under. I don't want it that way. I'm just going to ream it out, honestly, if I have to do that, or I'll just, I'll make it work the way I want it to. Because I want everything tucked up out of the way, and I don't want the Pitman arm to be the lowest part of the car. I just want it to be either above or in parallel with the drag link. Okay. Still going to prop that up back, or to the height it needs to be. Then we'll see what needs to be notched and all that. And if we run out of time at 8 p.m., I'll just make another stream at some point or just update you guys with another video of just what I ended up doing with the steering assembly on this overall. But yeah, we still down around 15 minutes or so. Cool. Okay. Wood, it's structural. Okay, sorry, I'm just looking at maybe I can get you guys to see what I'm doing right now. So I am playing around with trying to get that drag link the height it needs to be in order to be in line with the actual drag link from the driver's side spindle to the passenger side one. Once I do that, I've got a physical reference for the height the Vega steering box has to be at, and then I can figure out what I need to cut out of the way to start welding it in. Makes sense, right? Dangerously try and get you guys on the tire to see more of what I'm doing, okay? Or we'll try, there's not a lot of ways we can make this work. Because if I try and do this, all you guys are going to see is frame. That's not really helping. Try and get you guys closer, I guess. That cool with you? So I think I need another just small wood shim. That'll be flat with where I want it, and then figure out this. It's very scientific. And there it is. It's level with where we need it to be. And if I thought ahead, I would have turned this wheel out of the way and you could see more, but you can kind of see what I'm going for, right? Yeah, now you can. All right. Now, what do? I need to figure out this. Actually, if I'm smart about it, I'll keep this wood out of my way and just shift this all back to here. Push this forward, and then I got all this room for Vega box. Okay. This is the boring part. I don't really show in YouTube videos because it's the boring part. So, Vega box, have to go up here. That still clears the alternator and mostly the engine mount. I'm going to have to cut, about roughly 1.5 inches at most of the little triangle plate out of the way. And then our plate for the Vega box will fall right in place where I want it. So, what do? I don't really know where. I've got my cutoffs at the moment, but I'll do it. And then I'll take I'm going to take the hood off, get a little more light in, and then I'll just get the angle grinder and cut the little piece out and then start welding more stuff. I think. Or I could just not just plate, but it's going to be safer if I just cut the little ear piece of the bracket off. Just weld them both. Not the hubcap. There we go. So, with where everything is falling, it's literally just a small piece of the plate that's in the way. I should be able to use the flap wheel and just grind it to where it's flush with the frame. And it'll be way less of a chance of having catastrophe and chunks of fingers gone and stuff. We'll see. I can't see where I'm walking. There's a hood in front of me. Okay. Might be able to get a better shot now for you guys to see the rest of what I'm working on. Give me a second. Let's see if that doesn't really help you, or does it? Well, kind of. So yeah, I'm gonna just be shoving myself way under here, get the plate out of the way, and then start tacking stuff in. I gotta plug that in though. Hello. Okay. Got power, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't really edit this in, so don't do this at home because most people are pine cones. Don't get yourself here, okay? And the laptop sideways, that's perfect. Okay. I've got my safety squints. I'll be okay, as we'll see. It's not the fastest, but it's doing exactly what I want it to do. I'm able to make a nice curve away from what I need it to do, or how I say it. I'm making it to where the plate is like nicely curving away and then just flat into the frame. It's going to be perfect for me getting the plate that I need weld on for the string blocks. It's working like I thought it would. What's making all this dust? Almost there. Okay. Probably looking on the rest of it. Pretty good. I'm just dealing with the welded edge of where that plate's at, which is usually the hardest part of the steel. And once we're talking about less than 1/8 of an inch I'm fighting with now to grind out of the way, then we'll be able to set the plate in. I'll show you guys in a second, but yeah, it's good. If I could get my head in there while it's going though, I could do this a lot quicker. That's probably going to do the trick. Here's. Okay, I'm good. Almost almost there. There's just a little piece of it left. I'm gonna have to get more in the way of the camera. Okay. So I'm gonna have to poke my head in the shop to see what I'm putting this at, or not. You know, we're gonna do something funky. Just don't get sick doing while I do this, okay? Behold the underside of the frame. See? So that front edge, hello. So that front part of the bracket towards the front of the A is what I was trying to grind with the flap wheel. That is now about 1.25 inches up higher out of the way. So the plate for the steering box can finally get welded in. Cool, right? Okay. Yeah, that's crooked again. All right, so it's actually kind of warm over here, like I was welding or cutting something. That is close. Everything's about where I want. This has got to go up more. I could potentially notch into my steering box plate and just cut a slot into it, and then it would follow wherever the engine mount plate is at. I don't think that'd be the strongest way to do it. Okay. So basically, the plate's like this. I could take a like C-notch out of the steering box plate and make it where it goes over like this. But I don't truly know what angle that might like kick the steering box into, or even just like the location forward and aft of where the steering box needs to be. It'd be easier if I just continue to grind this out of the way, just probably another 1/2 inch at most. And it'll just be the front plate that I'm running into this issue because of how the steering box plate is like triangulated sloped down. You're basically seeing me like think out loud of what options I can possibly do to get the steering box to clear everything. The alternator, it's going to clear no matter what. So that's doing exactly what I want to do. Let's see that one more time. Because we were about 1 inch too low. Yeah, if I take not even half an inch, if I just get that up probably another quarter of an inch, I'm gonna have enough room to actually make this work. It's just hitting enough out of the way to where it keeps pushing it down further than I want it to. Because of how long the bitten arm is, I can mostly get it out of the way of it. Yeah, that's basically a plan. Other than it's 8 p.m., but yeah, it's probably not a bad place to leave off for right now. But I'll keep working on this a little bit later tonight, and I'll probably have a video of this popping up sometime soon on the channel. I've got a few RC things I'm going to be working on that'll pop up on the channel soon, and a whole bunch of videos on Ford Ranger I picked up for about 2 weeks. So yeah. Thanks for whoever tuned in. I see 2 people liked it, so that's cool. I'm just gonna go keep working on stuff. So have fun, guys, and thanks for tuning in. I'm been in the street now, so thank you. I can't see the mouse. The heck is it? I found it.